he has an OST. And
boy, does he ever.
It is so good.
Howdy, Meowers. Welcome back to the BlushCat podcast. My name is Picahlanni.
Picahlanni, have you been here before?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Well, your voice sounds lovely. I'm so happy to have you here today. And why exactly are you here today?
Well, first of all, thank you so much. And second of all, I am here. It's interesting that you chose to compliment my voice because I'm actually here to discuss with you, Devin, our favorite K-pop vocalists.
Wow, I swear I did not even intend to do that. But wow, look how that worked out.
It fits perfectly. Do you perhaps have anything you want to ask me before we get started?
I don't.
Okay, all right then. We're going to jump right into it. So we're going to just be casually discussing our favorite vocalists. And now, actually, before we jump right into it, just a little more explanation. This doesn't have to be an idol with a vocal position. We could be talking about the vocals of somebody who's a main dancer. It doesn't matter. We're just here to highlight the voices that we like in K-pop.
Yes. So it's not even about, it's going to be weird to say skill level because it's not that any of these people aren't skilled or are more skilled or whatever, but we don't have to pick the Mariah Careys of K-pop that have an incredible range or can sing things that no one else can sing. It's literally just people that when their parts are in songs, we really like the vocal tone. We really like their voice.
Yes. And so it's not even going to be this is not best K-pop vocalists, and it doesn't even have to be these are the people that we think are the best. It's just
it's our preference,
our favorite. Yeah, we like the sound of it. And so we are also going to be mentioning some songs where they have parts that we really like or songs that we think suit their voices really well. And for the most part on my end, it will just be songs from the group, but I might mention some covers or something like that of songs that they've covered before. But this is, our first time doing this topic, but it's a topic that can definitely be visited again. So we're not going to be discussing a whole lot of vocalists today. We're going to try to keep it a shorter episode because we've been doing really long ones. So yeah, let's see how that works.
Okay, and I think that on top of all of that, you're going to have a lot more to say in general than I am, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to bring to the table what I can. And I mean, at the very least, I think people are going to get a pretty good idea of the type of vocals that I like.
Okay. All right. So how about I begin? And I'm going to begin with Minnie from I-DLE.
Okay.
I really like her voice a lot. I always have, and it's very distinct. It's very enchanting. Everybody says that she has a siren voice and siren eyes. So she's very it's this captivating sort of vocal. And on her solo album, she just had her solo debut recently, and her solo album definitely showcases a lot of different styles that she has. So she can use her voice in different ways, but I think a lot of the times it's very breathy and rather deep, and she uses that style more often, I think. And so I really like it. So one of my favorite instances of Minnie's voice is in the I-DLE song G-IDLE. I feel like it used to be more common to say I-DLE, but now I feel like literally nobody says that. So I feel like people will never know what group we're talking about when we just say I-DLE. But I don't know, that's how I learned to say it back when they debuted. So
it's their fault for having it pronounced sounding like idol in Korean, but then Soyeon goes up on stage and says G-idol.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'll call them idol for now, but just know that we're talking about G-idol. And so that would be the song Escape. And this is actually a song that she made. And that's another good thing, is that Minnie is involved in a lot of like the composition and writing of idol songs and her own songs. And so definitely her vocal color can show through more, and it suits her voice really well. And so Escape is really, really good. It's a B-side from their album that had Tomboy on it, and particularly the intro. It's just really good.
I haven't heard it, but maybe I'll have to check that out. Minnie's voice is very, like, it has a uniqueness to it that I feel like gives a lot of like vibiness to songs.
Yeah, it's very atmospheric. Like listening to Escape is totally like, it just creates such a vibe. Yeah, it's really good. And so also, I would say that the song Hwa is a good one in terms of like the mood. Like her voice contributes to the mood of Hwa a lot. And I really, like, Hwa was kind of my era with Idol, and I watched like all of the stage performances, and I kind of forgot about it for a while, but going back to it, I remember how distinct I thought Minnie's parts were, especially live.
When you first brought up Minnie, the first thing I thought of obviously was her, because that just came out. But then the next thing I thought of was Hwa. Like, I was like, oh, that's a Minnie vocal tone moment, isn't it?
Yeah, like her voice can almost be a little bit like haunting and creepy, like in like a good way.
Yeah.
And so a lot of idol songs use that to their advantage. And so other ones that I just want to mention are Dahlia and 7 Days. And Dahlia is like definitely a Minnie song. And 7 Days is one of the other like newer ones. It's from Super Lady Time, so you can check those B-sides out. And then a very recent one that was on her solo album is Obsession, the song that features 10, and I really love that song. I'd say it's similar to Escape. It has that sound, like her voice is just being used in a way that I really like, and that's my favorite way that her voice will sound. So yeah.
Nice.
Thanks. Who do you have?
Okay, well, I'm going to start with one of my less detailed ones. I mean, honestly, I only have like one or two that have like many details. But we'll start here. Slow start. I did my best finding some examples, but I like the vocal tones of Jisung singing from NCT DREAM.
That's a good one.
And I don't have much, but like, because I feel like it wasn't, am I wrong in saying this? I'm not an NCT DREAM expert, but it wasn't up until the more recent years that he started having like more singing parts before he did like more rap adjacent, at least, sort of parts.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say in their like English songs, surprisingly, he would have more vocal parts, but lately, yeah, he's definitely had more vocal moments.
Okay. Well, yeah, the first time that I think that this is going to be the case for a lot of the people that I've picked. Like, I don't really know if they're all in a similar range of voices, but I kind of feel like they have a similar vibe. And I don't really know to call, like, if it should be called a low range, like a low register, or a high register, or like people with a low range singing in a higher register. I don't know what to call it, but I feel like I'm I feel like I'm kind of picking similar sounds, similar tones. And like it's just voices that sound, I realized voices that sound sort of like comfortable, like not like there's not a lot of strain happening when they're singing. Like it's easy, you know? Like it's just kind of gentle. It's I don't know how to describe it.
Okay.
But the first time I noticed was his part in Best Friend Ever towards the beginning. I love that part. And then also he's got a part in When I'm With You that also is very similar in that way, of just being like, I don't know. How would you describe it?
I don't know. Maybe relaxed. You said comfortable, but like it's, I don't know. Like his voice is very deep. And so I feel like that's either going to be threatening or like inviting. And
yes,
it's inviting.
I feel like I picked a lot of deep voices and they're either being used in a very like deep, aggressive way almost, or they're in a very like gentle way.
Yeah. May I point out his vocals in the NCT Dream B-side, Like We Just Met? Because I think that song has a very like Ed Sheeran type of vibe to it. And so like his vocals in that song are definitely offering a sort of like, you know, mellow, just, I don't want to say chill because I feel like that's a little too like, it takes away that sort of comforting essence. It's like a little bit too,
right, like it's like not so relaxed and casual that it's like, oh, I'm just like singing while I'm walking down the street. Like it's hard to describe.
Yeah, but his voice in that song is, I think, a good example probably of what you're trying to convey his vocals are like to you personally.
I'll have to listen to that one because I was like trying to think of, and I was sort of on the lookout for like more instances or longer instances of him having those vocal tones. So okay, I'll have to listen to that one. I mean, I think I've already, well, what album is it on?
ISTJ.
Yeah, I've probably heard it then one time, but I don't remember.
They did perform it like at
Ooh,
Dios
okay.
and stuff. Like they've performed it before, so you've definitely heard it then as well. Yeah.
Well, that's my first one to start with, Jisung singing voice.
Okay.
Let's hear more of it.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good one. I actually did make like a note of that on my list, like his voice as one of the ones that I do really enjoy. And I also want to take a moment to just emphasize, in case anybody is unaware or somehow misunderstanding this episode, we are not vocal experts and we're not vocally critiquing anybody. We're sharing our favorites. We know almost nothing about like vocal technicality, so our descriptions aren't meant to be super technical or detailed or anything like that.
Yeah, I took 1 year of course because I was forced to, and I hated every second of it. So trust me, I know nothing about singing.
Okay. All right. So you brought an NCT Dream member to the table, and now I will bring my NCT Dream member to the table, and I want to talk about Renjun because his vocals are truly incredible and they deserve to honestly be appreciated more, and I want to take this episode to recognize his vocals. The first song that I want to mention that has a moment that I really, really love because of Renjun's vocals is, believe it or not, Hot Sauce. I just talked about this song last week and how it wasn't really my thing when it first came out, but I have since learned to appreciate it. And one of the reasons that I can appreciate it is because of the pre-chorus, and Renjun's line, like the first pre-chorus, is just so good. I love that part. Like that's literally such a good part.
I don't remember it, but I'm sure it's great.
Like, I wish that part happened more, honestly. Like, if the song consisted more of that, not a dig at the other members or something, but like that part is just so good that I want to hear it more, but it literally only happens with Renjun doing that part the one time. So it's like I just have to play the song over again, I guess. It's just the way that works. But another song where his voice really shines is, again, Best Friend Ever. The vocals are just really good in that song, and the raps, like, it's just such a good song. And his voice there's like such a magical feeling to his part in this song, and it's really, really good. Another one that I just want to loop. Like, just loop it until the end of time.
Yeah, I think Renjun's part that's adjacent to Jisung's part that I like is really good as well. Like, they sort of they chain off of one another, you know?
yeah, and it's perfect because Jisung's voice is like so low, and Renjun's is more like light in this song. But he can definitely use his voice in different ways. He's really an all-rounder, so let's just take another moment to like appreciate Renjun, okay? Thank you. I'm going to mention Quiet Down because he has really interesting vocals in this song. He actually has a really low rap part. I know that might surprise you, but he does. And so that's like, I need to shout that out, but also he's doing like some high notes, like, or like, you know, like some moments like there, it's not like he has a big section, like a big chunk in this song, but he's doing some impactful moments that really add to, like, the song is a bit lower and more like, you know, powerful of a song. It's interesting because it's called Quiet Down, and so it's like, yeah, but he's adding a little bit of contrast in all the right ways.
I like when, like, I feel like a lot of the people that I picked too don't necessarily have a lot of large chunks of singing, but the tone that they bring, or like the flavor that they're adding throughout, I feel like really helps to like give a certain feeling to the song.
Yeah. Okay, I want to talk about Hello Future, or like just, you know, mention Hello Future because he has such an iconic, almost like, you know, among the members sort of memeable moment in this song. But it's just, that's how iconic it is, you know, he's always setting trends. So Hello Future Renjun is really good. Yogurt Shake Renjun, really good. Like his intro part, definitely one that I sing a lot. And other like vocal flex songs, Rainbow, On the Way, Puzzle Piece, which in this song he's using a lower voice again, and Sorry Heart, that's a vocal line song. And the last couple like NCT DREAM songs that I want to mention, SOS, his pre-chorus is really good. ISTJ, the bridge, we have to shout out the bridge, you know.
I know the bridge.
You know the bridge. We all know the bridge of ISTJ, and it wouldn't be the way that it is if it weren't for Renjun's vocals. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Moonlight, another one of NCT DREAM's Japanese songs. Like, they're just doing really good with the Japanese songs, so I hope they keep that up. They're giving Renjun plenty of moments to shine. And the last thing I want to highlight is a cover that he did officially on the NCT channel, but it was like years ago at this point, but it was a cover of Troye Sivan Fools, and his voice is really nice in that. I was trying to think of a way to describe these people's vocals that I wanted to talk about, and the first thing that came to mind with Renjun is caramel-like.
Ooh, okay.
Like, it's like sweet, but it can be like deep, and it's kind of got this like thickness and richness to it, and it's like caramel, is it not?
I guess, like, that's interesting because I was going to say, like, I was trying to think of a way to describe the voices that I have on my list, and I was like, they're smooth, but I don't necessarily know if they're like sweet honey like, which is like a thing that people would say a lot. And then when I was talking about Jisung and then you were talking about Renjun, I was like, it's kind of a similar feeling to their voices, but I think Renjun is sweeter. But I still don't know if I would say honey like. I'm not really sure who I would say is honey like, but caramel, that is interesting, like, because it's honey adjacent. I feel like that's probably good. Okay, well, let me get another one from my list here. Let's just go for a classic here. Well, not that classic. Let's go for a classic. I'm talking about Hongseok from Pentagon.
Nice.
We call him Tony here on this podcast. This one's a little bit of a shift, but still kind of similar. But I'm talking about his raspier. You know, when he has these raspier moments in songs is my favorite. Like a really good example that's very distinct, very like right there. The very last "You Got Me Feeling Like" in "Feeling Like."
Okay.
When Tony does it, it's like, that's my favorite time of it being said is when he's doing it. And that's my favorite, like, a vocal tone for him to use. I actually like it when people, like, in general use that sort of tone in songs. I also like his parts in "Do or Not." Really good.
Good ones.
His part in "Daisy," specifically at around maybe 39 seconds ish, I was like, okay, also a good example. Like, they still all have the sort of like honestly, like, yes, the smoothness, but is it weird to say smooth if it's also being described as kind of raspy? Maybe.
Maybe, but I get it. Okay. I get it.
And like a lot of emotion, you know? Like,
yeah.
There's a lot of emotion, but without it being like, it's not like high emotion. You know, I feel like it's like low.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
I think that the vibe he has as a person, like, his voice is very representative of that. Like, it matches.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, not just 39 seconds in "Daisy," also his other part at 2 minutes and 5 seconds about. I want the time with the timings off of the music video, so maybe that's not exactly accurate. But yeah, and like, I feel like he definitely has that tone sort of throughout the what is the album called? Is it Universe the Black Hole? Is that the album name? I think throughout that album he probably uses that tone a good bit because a lot of the songs sort of have that vibe to them. Also, it's not really officially a Pentagon song. Well, neither of these are, but they're kind of like officially done by Pentagon in a sense. I was going crazy. I actually, unfortunately, I'm so sorry to the search algorithm, but I did have to look up Pentagon song lyric "stupid" because I was going crazy. I'm like, what is the song where Tony says "stupid"?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I know that that's in that sort of voice, that's in that range. And I was like, what is it? I was checking every song, I couldn't find it, and then thankfully, because I did search that, it finally showed up for me. And it's when they did a cover of "Very Good" on Road to Kingdom. So his vocal tones there, I also really like. And then, like, to get away from the raspiness a little bit and have a more of like a clear representation of voice for Tony, I really like his first line in their Frozen, I don't even remember what song it is, but they cover a Frozen song a cappella.
Yeah.
When he sings in that, like, I don't know how many times he sings, but I know like the first time he sings, you know, it's more of a theatrical style of singing, but I really like that as well.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's Into the Unknown.
Oh, right. Yes, Into the Unknown.
Yeah, I didn't even know that song, like, because I never saw the second Frozen. I know, shocker. But it was like, Pentagon did such a good job. I was like, okay, sure, why not?
They do. And literally, like, I was going through songs for Pentagon, but for other groups as well, to like check to see vocal parts, to see if there was something I wanted to include and everything. And there was so much good music. Pentagon has so much good music. Like, oh, it was wow.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I could definitely talk about Pentagon vocalists more. So maybe if we do this episode again, I'll bring some other ones up. But I would want to re-reference Hongseok's vocals because I think they complement other Pentagon members. Like, I think his voice complements the vocals of other Pentagon members really well. So he might come back into the picture if we do this episode again.
Yeah, I actually noticed, like specifically with that Universe the Black Hole album, I think, that a lot of the members were using sort of a tone like that. But for some reason, his like stands out to me in some particular way. I don't really know why, but I was like, wow, actually a lot of them have this tone, like, and are using this tone and they're using it well. Like, it's good.
Okay. I would like to talk about Anton. When would I not, right? I want to talk about Anton and his vocals.
Okay, go for it.
So, Anton from RIIZE. We've got, sort of limited stuff to work with, but at the same time, it's more than you might expect. I'm going to bring first to the forefront of everything Hug, because this is their most recent recent release, and luckily Anton gets a lot of moments to shine in this song, and so I need you to go listen to it. I did talk about his part, one of his parts in this song already, and I'm talking about it again because it's just that good. But also he has the other moment, like his moment to shine, and everybody, like even the members, acknowledge this. It's like, this is just such an iconic moment, and so this is really such an iconic time, an iconic song for him. So if they didn't do this as like an official cover, I would have really been missing out on some great Anton vocals.
I mean, I feel like sometimes I think, where is he?
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, did I miss his part? Because I've been watching for how long and I still haven't seen him. So what I'm saying is, like, he deserves it. Like, they need to give him more.
Definitely. I don't know why they don't, showcase his vocals more often, but hopefully we're entering an era where they do. And also, hopefully he gets to start, composing, producing music for the group, because I'd love to hear his take. I'd love to hear what his sound is like and how he would showcase his own vocals, and even like an official cover. Like, we haven't had a solo Anton cover yet officially, so I really want that. His voice is also very emotional, like Hongseok's, and it's very gentle still. He has a gentle speaking voice, but his singing voice is that way too, and it's smooth. Like, I say he sort of has a similar vocal color to Tony, but in like, it minus the raspy side, like in that other side.
Yeah.
But yeah, just whenever his parts happen, it's a really good time. 9 days I have to bring up, because he is doing sort of like a rap moment after, the Anton Let's Go part. That's iconic. But also his final line, he ends the song, like, so he gets his moment. But then Anton has that very last line, and it's very soft and like quiet, but it's so impactful, and I love that part. His vocals in combo, I also have to really acknowledge, because I felt like that was like, okay, finally he's getting like an actual section here. He's getting like an actual verse.
Right.
He was also getting some moments in Honestly and One Kiss. It was looking like, the B-sides. But then again, RIIZE pretty much only had like those 3 B-sides. They were doing pretty much everything as a promoted song. But Honestly and One Kiss both have really good moments. It's just, how 9i music has such a vibe?
Yeah.
And we talked about that recently. I feel like Anton's voice has such a vibe. And I mean, I said that with Minnie, like we both did. Like she creates such an atmosphere and adds so much to the mood of the songs. I feel like that's Anton.
And I feel like it's like you brought up an interesting aspect that he had that line that's really soft and quiet, but it's impactful. Like I feel like with singing, sometimes it seems like in order to make an impact, in order to have emotion and all those things, the volume goes up. The people are like singing with a lot of power. And so to sing very like softly or quietly, gently, and for it to like hit like that, I feel like is like, I don't know, it's unique, right? Like it's like, oh, that's cool that person has that vibe with their singing.
Yeah. Well, the last 2 things that I want to acknowledge that he did is the One Thing cover. When RIIZE did One Thing by One Direction at their concerts, I was drawn to RIIZE more so because of that. Like, it caught my attention that they covered that song. And I was like, who is doing these high notes? And when I found out that it was Anton, I was, like, shocked because I did know already. Like, I was familiar enough with Anton to be surprised by that. But it's like, I'm not surprised at the same time now that we've like actually gotten a chance to hear his vocals more, because it's SM, like we know the vocals are going to be good, but it's just he is finally getting some moments that actually showcase that. And then also, this one is not like an official cover, but I wanted to bring it up because it was really good and I like to go back to it sometimes. At one of their fan con like show days, he sang Ed Sheeran Castle on the Hill for a little bit, just himself alone. And so it had that auditorium or like, concert venue sound added to it. And it was literally just him, no music. And so it was really good.
I love it when people sing like that. Like when people have you just get to hear their voice.
Yeah. Honestly, it was kind of giving IU.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like I thought that about someone recently, that their voice, like I think it was a man, but I was like, why does this kind of give an IU vibe? I don't remember who it was though. Shout out to IU. She is incredible. Could definitely be included on this vocalists type of journey we're having.
For sure. Well, that will conclude my Anton portion. I'm always looking for a chance to get to talk about Anton, and I am glad that I got a chance to acknowledge his vocals specifically.
Yes, thank you. Okay, my next
welcome.
one. My next one is maybe a bit of a twist here. I don't know. I don't know why I say the things that I say. Just trying to make it spicy.
Okay.
It's Hyunsuk from CIX.
Okay. I was wondering honestly if you'd talk about him.
Yeah, well, I am.
Okay.
It's low once again. It's gentle, I feel like. He definitely has kind of an Anton thing going on where it's like sort of soft, quiet parts almost. Like the part, and it's a little raspy. The part when he starts Lovers Are Enemies, like at the beginning of that song.
Oh yeah.
Love that part.
Yeah.
I love that part. And then also Thunder, the song that just recently came out, that about 30 seconds in, like so still near the beginning. I also love that part. I don't actually have anything else. Because it's like, it's those vocal tones, like when he uses his voice in that way. Anytime someone sings like that, I love it. So like every time that there's people that sing like that, it's like I write it down, gotta add it to the list. So, I mean, I'm sure that some of the other CIX songs that I know do have that, but like those are the ones that I knew of that came to mind naturally. So I just, I got those parts. But overall, I think a lot of the vocal tones in CIX are nice. I also do really like Baekhyun's vocal tones. But I figured we would kind of go with the brand that I was building here. Hyunsuk, I feel like, fits nicely with it. And I do really like the beginning of Lovers or Enemies. Like, I want to restart the song to be able to hear that part again.
Totally.
Like, it's so good.
It's really good.
And you know who else? Like, just because it's like, how do you not mention these other people? BX, his singing, I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could do like a whole CIX vocal appreciation episode, honestly. I do have CIX on my list, but I wrote multiple, but we're not going to get to them all today. So I think I'm going to reserve it for if we do this again.
Okay.
But I will share another one of my favorite vocalists, and that's DK Dokyum from 17.
Wow, that one's like a classic singing voice, you know?
Yeah, it's very strong. Like, he's a very strong vocalist, and his voice is sort of bold, and it's very lively as well and energetic. I think that's his style. And so I did say in our first episode when we played the game, and I was like, who are some of my favorite vocalists? I'm pretty sure I said Minnie, Renjun, and DK.
Oh, wow.
But, there was a moment for me. And I'm pretty sure everybody that's a fan of Dokyum's vocals thinks of this as, his vocal moment as well. I think this is a shared opinion that 17's performance of Kidult at their 2021 online concert is just like the epitome of Dokyum vocal. Like everything that you could get from his vocals is showcased in this song, and specifically in this live performance. And I just love the vibe of it so much. I really do like Kidult, but when I first heard it, I was definitely more of a fan of other songs on that album. Like, it's the album, it has My, and it has Together. I was more of a fan of those songs, but his vocals and this one specific performance made me appreciate this song even more. And so when the vocals can do that, I just have to acknowledge it.
Wow, yeah, that's like a testament to his skill.
Yeah, so I definitely recommend checking that out, like the actual performance or just the song in general. His voice is so good in that, and that's probably my favorite instance of his vocals. But other songs that I want to mention, I have a lot here, but To You is a good one. That's one of my favorite 17 B-sides, and another one of my favorite 17 B-sides is Run to You. So To You and Run to You. But Run to You is, I'm sure, a fan favorite. I'm pretty sure everybody loves the vibe of this song. And actually, I feel like To You and Run to You are fan favorites.
So you're gonna be like, actually, I don't think anyone likes it.
But Run to You definitely has anime vibes. Like, everybody knows this about it. It's just very good. 17 songs are very emotional. Like, there's a lot because there's so many different sounds, like so many different people to add different vocal colors to the songs, I think it is obviously going to impact it. But I just feel like his sound contributes to the vibe a lot in 17 music. And he also had a solo song. He had an OST for the drama 2521, and the OST is Go. And I love this song. I think it's really good. I want to talk about the pre-chorus of Hot, because that's one of my favorite parts of the song, and he does a really good job. Beautiful. Beautiful is a really good 17 song, and his vocals are contributing to that. Fast Pace, Second Life, also really good songs. And just a last few list. Anyone. This is a little bit more of like, you know, a little bit of a different side of Dokyun vocal. It's a little, I already said his vocals are strong, but like it's a little darker, sort of strong, not as like lively. Same Dream, Same Mind, Same Night, and My. Those are all really good Dokyun vocal moments, even though he's not always having big full parts. Sometimes it's just his ad-libs that make me be like, wow, this is such a good moment for him. So yeah,
he's got that sort of like natural born singer vibe, you know, to just be like throwing it out there, like whew.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice. I've got another one here. Maybe everyone's been waiting for this one. I've been saving it. I'm talking about Shownu from MONSTA X. Once again, I feel like this is a very comfortable vocal tone. I feel like his singing is smooth. It's relaxed feeling a lot of the times. It's distinct but understated. Do you agree?
I do agree. I think that's a really good way to describe it, actually. I hope it, like, doesn't... I don't think that's, like, offensive to think of it that way. Like, say it's understated.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
It's like, it seems like such a good way to describe it, though.
Yeah, like, if you think of, like, Dawn, you know, his voice is very distinct, but I wouldn't say it's understated. So, like, okay. It's distinct, right?
Yeah.
Shownu's is, like, it's not as, you know, it's not as... If it were a shirt, it wouldn't be as loud of a color.
Okay.
But it's still a very distinct color. Yeah. So I think that it's just really nice to listen to. He has an OST called I'll Be There. And
boy, does he ever.
It is so good. It's literally so nice to listen to. Like, it's just good, nice singing. Like, it's just... I don't know. Yeah, it's a voice that sounds kind, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
I remember for so long, I thought that he was a rapper. I didn't know that he was a dancer, and I certainly didn't know he had vocals like that.
That's crazy.
But hearing that OST, that's like the magnum opus for Shownu and me. Like, that is just, it's so good.
I mean, yeah, I had to include it first thing.
Yeah.
Because it's so good. And like, yeah, I just really like, because it's good, like, skill-wise, you know, I'm sure that there's a lot going into it that makes it, like, you know, fancy and different, but I don't know any of that. All I know is that, like, it's very, like, soothing and comfortable to listen to. Like, it doesn't have a lot of extremes. And I like that about it. Like, his singing in general, you know, it goes a little bit more, I don't know, comfortable. So that's one of the, like, when I say comfortable, I don't necessarily mean like they're comfortably singing as much as I mean I'm comfortably listening. So yeah, there's that. Great. Also, like, you can hear a lot of his vocals, obviously, in the Shownu Hyungwon subunit. Like, the verses of Love Me a Little. Like, you can really distinctly hear that style of his voice that just sounds very smooth and distinct but understated. Some other good songs that also, I mean, he kind of sings the same way all the time, so like you could really hear his parts in anything. But his parts in Monster Truck, what? It's good. His parts in Breathe For You, their Tutakgom song, and his parts in Gambler. You get a little bit of the like I don't know if you call it a high note, but like a little bit of the woo woo type of singing in Gambler, which is also just really nice. Like when they did the so random, it actually had been completely forgotten out of my mind for like years, Versace on the Floor cover. Yeah. And he does like a big like, you know, woo 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 part in that. It's like, wow, I did not know that Shownu could sing like that. Like I didn't know that he could do those.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of my favorite vocal tones, because it's just so like, it's like, yeah, comfortable is the best way for me to put it. Like, it's just, it doesn't feel like I'm, you know, working hard to listen to it or they're working hard to sing it. It just sounds like pleasant. Well, but pleasant, but in like a smooth way. It's not pleasant as in like happy, you know?
Yeah.
I don't mean like that. I mean, that would be nice too, but also Honey at the end of Gambler, like, you know, I'm just saying his singing part.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Honey and the Versace and the floor thing too. Wow.
Definitely think Shownu is an underappreciated vocalist.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I appreciate him though. Okay, have you got one more for us?
I do. I have one more, and I in case like you're offended that I keep talking about SM vocalists, I'm sorry to say it is another SM vocalist.
I mean, it kind of checks out with like how they want their idols to be.
Yes, definitely. But I'm talking about Joy from Red Velvet. Her voice is very bright and fluttering. That's how I'm describing it. And I really like what she adds to Red Velvet songs. However, she has also debuted as a soloist, and her voice is really pleasant to listen to in all of her solo songs as well. Je t'aime, Happy Birthday to You, and of course Hello are all excellent examples that show her very bright, cheery sort of style, but also this like cafe sort of pleasant, relaxed isn't exactly the right word, but you know, like it's a,
I feel like I don't remember, like I only know Hello really, and I don't really remember it that much, but the way that my mind and heart remember it, I would say maybe warm. And you did say cafe, so maybe that's kind of like a good word.
Yeah, warm. It's like, yeah, it's like a sunny day.
Yeah, like, because you said bright, but it's like not, there's depth to it.
Yeah. And so those are all her solo, like not all of her solo songs, but those are some of her solo songs that I think showcase her voice really nicely. And as for Red Velvet music, I'm actually going to talk about Happiness because I really like her parts in this song. Like the refrain is really good, and the refrain of Bad Boy as well. That's one of like my favorite parts, and her voice is actually a little bit, I'm not sure of the right word, but it's kind of like the opposite of bright and fluttering. She can use a voice like this sometimes, and Sassy Me is a Red Velvet B-side. It's also very opposite of how it usually is used. It's like this low dragging tone in Sassy Me, like she's doing like that thing that that thing that SM vocalists do sometimes, like Taeyong, honestly, from NCT. He's done this before, and Irene has actually done it too in other Red Velvet songs. But actually, okay, everybody is doing it in Sassy Me. Like, that's just the way the song is. It's not necessarily her specifically in this song, but I do enjoy when she is doing it in the song. But both of those songs are kind of like very different from how you might think her vocals usually are. But so she's good at that too. And Wild Side is a very, like, the range is very high. Like, it's all the notes are really up there for this song. But I think it's good, and you can hear, like, she has such a distinct tone, right? And
sure, yeah.
It's very prominent in this song, I think. Feel My Rhythm, I have to talk about because she has the iconic part. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it, and they love it for a reason because it's good and it's enjoyable. And Carpool, the intro, really fun, really nice. Something that's maybe a little bit understated in terms of you probably wouldn't think of this song if you think about her vocals. But I love this song, and so I think about it. Cool World. That's one of my favorite Red Velvet B-sides, and I just think her voice is really nice in this. And also Rookie, that's a really good one as far as Red Velvet vocal tones goes. Like, they're all using their vocals in the way that I think is the most representative of their vocals. And Blue Lemonade is also one that I think suits Joy really well because it is sort of relaxed and, like, you know, it has that summeriness to it, but it's a little bit more, it's like a mix of, you know, the bright fluttering and then like the other vibe that I was saying that she had is like somewhere in the middle. And so when I think of Blue Lemonade, I think of Joy's voice. And yeah, I also just have to mention Chill Kill. Her, you know, first verse is really excellent, and it sets the mood of the song really well.
I like that her name is Joy, and she has these sorts of vibes about her voice.
It's very perfect. It doesn't seem forced. It seems like it's just, it suits her so naturally.
Yeah. Okay, well, I have one more, and I'm actually shifting it. Last minute shift.
Ooh.
I'm pulling from the reserves list.
Okay.
Instead of, because I had another one from a group that I've already done. Okay, it's Pentagon. Because literally, like, how do you, like, there's so many voices in Pentagon that I'm literally just like, they are incredible. Yeah. And I love their voices so much. Like, I could do easily 4 Pentagon people. Easily. But if we're talking, like, we're including rap and stuff like that too, or like singers, but I mean rappers, but when they're singing, like, okay. But so I'm like, okay, if you're not going to repeat groups and stuff, then I won't either. I'll pull from the reserves, but it's going to be a little bit more off the top of my head.
Okay.
And I was debating, like, do I include this person or not? So they were in the reserves list. Kang Daniel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he, you know, he went throughout all of Produce 101 doing rap parts, and those are great, and then like 101 too, pretty much rap parts. But his solo debut started with singing, and early on we had I Hope, really nice sounding song.
Yeah, that one's a really good one.
Yeah, so just really, like, it was just so unexpected to hear something like that from him, but like it worked so well. It's a very comforting sounding song, and I think his vocal tone brings a lot to that. I also think that, like, his, like, pronunciation kind of, it has sort of like a cute aspect to it that makes things seem more comforting. but like also in like Paranoia, like if you get the vocal tones from that brings in some of the more like raspy elements that I like from other vocalists. And then more recently with like SOS and Wasteland, I really love like his voice, like because he's the only one in the songs, you know, because it's just solo, but like his voice has such a nice vibe to it for the types of songs that he makes, that it just works really well, and it's very atmospheric, I feel like.
Yeah. I feel like his voice, obviously he was in 101, but like you said, he definitely had more rap parts. I do think of Beautiful though. His voice is like, it does have that vibe in that song and all the parts of that song. So that's a nice example of his singing voice. But I feel like it's not common to have boy group vocalists with his tone. I feel like his voice is very distinct, and so I think he does work well as a soloist because he has a very unique, or at least unique for a K-pop boy group sort of sound and style.
Yeah, like it's very obvious, like when it's him singing, when it's one of his songs, like you can it's like, I mean, you said distinct already, but yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess that's all.
Okay.
I'm sorry that I didn't include any girl vocalists. I do have some in the reserves, but I didn't know if I really knew about them as much to really include one. So, I mean, I didn't.
Okay. That's hopefully fine. Well, okay then. I guess that's the end of this episode. So, if you enjoyed listening to our favorite K-pop vocalists discussion, you can like the episode on YouTube or wherever you're listening. And oh, what?
If you have a favorite vocalist of your own, you can leave a comment below and let us know.
Yes, definitely. I didn't expect you to just jump right in and say that.
Well, I just thought, hey, I know what they should be leaving a comment on this time.
Okay. All right. And actually, I think that it would probably be beneficial for BlushCat if we released a cheeky little playlist of like the songs that we talked about.
Okay.
Why not, right? Like just get some more playlists up. So we probably will have a playlist that you can check out on BlushCat's Spotify with the songs that we talked about today that have moments of vocal moments that we really enjoy. However, we probably will be doing this episode again, like I said, and we're probably also going to do episodes on like rappers, rap moments and stuff like that. So I probably would add those songs all into the same playlist. It probably wouldn't be separate playlists. I'm not positive though. I'm not positive. And also we might at some point in the future do an episode on specific vocal moments or like parts that sound cool or interesting, like specific parts in songs, I mean. So I'm not sure if those would all get added to the playlist or not, but I guess you'll just have to follow the playlist and save it and stay tuned, see what shows up in it. And please remember to subscribe to the BlushCat channel and turn on the notifications so that you don't miss any of our future content.
As always, thank you all for listening. Stay meowing.
This has been Picahlanni
And me. Bye.
Meow 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 meow